myself having that discipline, not being like, should it? Just being able to see it, make the decision not to, and just film it. That's the kind of thinking and decision making leads to kind of shooting. Just very decisive. Just very smart about it. And when you make a decision, you don't look back, don't make smart moment, kind of, okay, I guess I'm gonna shoot now. It's just me. Those thoughts did start coming in because being a predator, I was like, shoot him now. I could totally shoot this deer. But no. You know, it is so cool. Damn. I have not killed an animal simply because I just wanted to kill something. These red squirrels are testing their patience. Last time I did that, I was like 12. I was 18. That was like a high school senior's age ago. These red squirrels are testing my patience. Oh, that's what I thought was a fox. It wasn't a fox. It was a yelp. The sun's starting to come up now, so that's good. Put a few more deer on their feet. Maybe a decent buckle. Cruise on by here. It's about 8:15 right now. So anyone knows, squirrels are like nature's crackheads. They're spastic, erratic, never seem to know when to shut the fuck up. So my cutoff time this morning is going to be 10 o'clock. So I have to go in and work at 1 o'clock today, 1 to 9. Shoot anything past 10 o'clock, I'm not going to have enough time to get in, clean it, get it out, get it to the processor before work. Or I want to start off with a bang. Nice buck. That's a good buck. Someone shot it way far back. That deer's hurting. I didn't see him until he already popped down, but it's pretty bad. was blowing out deer. Sound like a doe. Gotta get ready just in case. So if that buck comes in here, I'm shooting at him. Something like that. If she blew out, I might as well just pack up right now and start getting on that trail and see if I can track that deer down. I'll be back. This is right with me. Alright guys, 35 minutes or I have my cutoff time. So looking back when I was looking at that buck, I saw either they were shooting a really large broadhead, like expandable reach broadhead, or it's not a person. That was a deer. And he got that in a fight with another buck. This is just how big the zero was. So like shortly before, well you guys heard, it sounded like a doe. It started to blow out down that way. I don't know if that's because that buck walked in front of another hunter. He shot him. Those were just blowing off, reacting to that. Don't know. What I do know is if that buck starts limping his way into this clearing, I'm shooting it. But hey, guess that's the reality of it all. Earlier this year, I didn't make the perfect shot on a deer in terms of where it should go, but she didn't go very far and she died quickly where that deer was hit. It's not gonna die quickly unless you hit an artery, which I don't think he did. Just in case I don't talk to you guys before I call it quits, which I think is coming up here pretty soon. At least I got to have my suspicions confirmed. This spot produces a little bit better in the morning than the afternoons. Just sucks because I wish I knew how far away he just came from. That's a buck that we don't have on camera either. It's not Mr. Big, it wasn't Crabs. It didn't look super old. Like it looked like a big mature buck, but he was big bodied. It's not my problem, but it is my problem. Fucking sucks.
Hi guys. So I'm gonna break down a little bit about what happened once I can't turn the camera off after I saw that buck that was someone else's shot. Obviously someone else had shot it. I saw a gash about like that big or so, and the side, like just in front of the backhand, blood dripping down. It was far back. It was bad hit. And when I saw the rack of the buck, it was not a buck that we had pictures of. And from the trail that it took, when I came in front of the clearing stand that I was in, I kind of traced back where I know they like to use that kind of trail from. And I'm like, it's going to be off to my left, which is going to be the south, more south of me, out in like the middle. So with that kind of shot, that deer traveled a long way, which is I pegged like a couple fields that he probably came from that I know deer like to hang around. I'm like, that's a long way for that deer to be around, so that's probably where he was hanging around and someone shot him, and at that point, traveled a long way, hurting, he was panting, his tongue was out, and what you kind of saw is me going back and forth in my head going, do I get down onto the stand and go track down this buck? Because knowing that kind of shot and how far it is, I wasn't sure if the person that shot him was going to be able to track him all the way down and actually recover the deer. But with me seeing that deer wounded, suffering, I was fully ready to punch my only buck tag for bow season to go put that deer, just end it all. So, but at the same time, I didn't want to bump the deer, make it worse, run into the guy that actually shot the deer as he's tracking him. Like, there was a bunch of different things going on inside my head, in terms of what my options were and what I could do and what I couldn't. Basically, I was trying to figure out what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And one of the things I was taught growing up when I took my hunter safety courses, there's a rule, is whoever puts the kill shot on the deer gets the deer. So if I were to track that deer down, find him bedded down, put an arrow in him, solid arrow, good hit, kills him right then and there, that buck's mine. I'll flop the tag on him. That's that. But I didn't want to bump the deer, and I also didn't want that deer to expire, to die, not be recovered, and then bring a bunch of coyotes in, and then there goes that plot of land out back behind the house for a bit, for a good about week, 2 weeks, leading right up into prime time, into the rut. So, weighing all this back and forth, called my dad to ask him for his advice about it, and he said, like, wait about half an hour, see if anybody comes by on the path, and if not, get down and do what you can, blah. So waited half an hour, get down out of the stand, and this is where the camera turns off. I get down out of my stand, grab my bow, do all that, walk over to where I saw that buck pop out and what kind of trail he was on, found blood. Then I trailed that deer for about good 80, 90 yards. It was good, it was a good lot of blood. It was bright blood. It wasn't like a dark livery kind of blood, so I'm thinking he probably nicked an artery, something like that. Like, not a lot, like severed it completely, but probably nicked it just a bit. He was bleeding pretty good. Tracked that thing all the way up until got into, like, over the rock wall into some thick stuff. There was a couple trees that fell down, and that's where I got stuck. And then on top of me being stuck, I was running out of time to be able to track this deer and do what I needed to do before I had to go to work. So I kind of saw where he was going. It was going to be far enough. He was traveling far enough away that I don't think it was going to really mess with my land and my hunting and all that. So I was like, okay. I did something. I tracked it. Ran out of time. I wasn't going to be able to get it. I was working until 9. So figured I did my best. Couldn't find it. I didn't shoot it. It's suffering. But at least I went and tracked it and tried to do the best that I could. So I get to work. I'm doing work, doing all this. And then my dad sends me a text saying, hey, guy found that buck. Sends me a picture. Lo and behold, it's the buck with the dude. And I go, and he tells me he has the whole story and he's going to tell me. So I get the break on work, give him a ring, and tells me that this guy kind of was like off, like an offshoot. So the way the land is, it's like a rectangle. So there's our street, Main Street, another big main road that goes up on the north end of it, and there's a town line road that goes on the south end of it. So it's a rectangle. We hunt predominantly on the east part of this. On this road right here, there's a guy that lives off that for a ways, and he hiked up about like right here. So if my stand's here, he shot that buck around here, and that buck traveled all the way over here, passed over here, and then got like about that 80, 90 yards past the stand I was in, and then made a hard right east towards the road, towards my street, in a block of timber. Like there's some pines, goes out into hardwoods, opens up just a little bit, and the buck died right there. The guy that was actually over here tracked that thing all the way up over there, found it, got to where I was, kind of gridded around for a bit, and then eventually found the buck. Started walking towards the road, and he basically saw what it looked like to be like an old rusty propane can, and he just kept looking at it. He's like, it didn't look right. Didn't look right. Then finally went over and investigated, and there's the buck. It was a 7-point, as you saw. I'm going to show the picture of the deer right now. It was a nice buck. Not an old buck. I kind of have my theories that he's actually the brother of the buck that I shot last year. Just by the color of his antlers and just the way of some of the different like bulbing that you see on the antlers and stuff like that. And just general the sense of the rack is very similar to the buck that I shot last year. So thinking it's the brother of him, which was not a deer that we saw at all. Didn't get any trail camera pictures of him over the summer or anything like that. So he was off in a different place. So that's was a good tidbit of information to know that just around these ag fields and stuff like that, they're kind of around there. That's where he was hanging out. So I'm willing to bet there's some other bucks that are hanging out there if they're still alive. The two that I really want. So yeah. And later my dad actually was talking to him and actually told the guy that buck walked right past me, and I actually got down and went and tracked the dang thing. Turns out I was inside 100 yards of where that buck was from the time that I stopped. When I lost the blood trail and I ran out of time, I was inside 100 yards away from that deer. So, and the guy said, he's like, well, I wouldn't blame him if he found that buck, put the kill shot on, and took him, because that's the rule. He understood that too. He felt the same way. But luckily, the shot wasn't very good, but the deer was recovered. That's the important part. In the afternoon, I found him. So that was the end of my interesting morning, where I got to blood trail 2 deer so far this year. Yay. One of which I shot, the other one I didn't shoot. That's how I was telling people. I'm like, well, I got the blood trail of buck this morning. I didn't shoot it. So it's all that someone else did. But I'm just glad. Recovered deer. Got it. Not really going to waste when it's really actually out in the woods. It feeds off other animals, but best possible ending to the scenario that I saw. So hope you guys are liking this series, or at least these videos that we're putting out here. It's been a little tough going. Not a whole lot of action and stuff like that. So bear with us. We're working on it. Sometimes that's just the reality of hunting of itself. It's just the lack of sightings. That's why it's hunting, not killing. Killing's only a really small part of it. But going out and seeing things and seeing animals and just being outside, that's why I love fall. Get to be outside a lot more. So hope you guys are enjoying it. If you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the red button, subscribe button below to follow us along as we share our journey, our stories. Literally, again, I'm going to say it again, we're real people, average Joes. We're not experts, paid whatever people to do this. We're local. This is stuff that is all local to our area. It's not like some big guided whatever thing. If you do that, cool. It's all for you. But we just like to do local things and plenty of adventures. So with that, see you guys in the next one.